Greetings, my fellow Fright Fiends. It's your buddy Boogeyman Ben here for a new episode of Boogeyman Ben's Horror Zone. I want to say Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope everyone has a very safe and exciting holiday season. For today's video, being that it's Christmas and the last few videos I've done have been talking about Christmas horror films and not only classic horror films, but new horror films that I've watched this year. I thought I'd talk about one that's not really a horror film, but it's one that I've always considered a Christmas film, and it's one that I really love, and it's one that I wish the style of it would have continued in this particular franchise. This movie came out in the summer of 1992, and that was when I graduated high school. And it was a movie I went out on a date with my friend Carla at the time to see in the movie theater. And I had such a blast with it, and I'm surprised at the backlash that it got back then, but I'm glad that it has become a more welcome film over the years, and that is Batman Returns. I fucking love Batman Returns. I love the style of it. It's very different from the first Tim Burton Batman film. Well, what happened was, Tim Burton, the first Batman that Tim Burton did was so successful that the only way that he really was interested in doing a sequel is if he could do one like a Tim Burton movie. And I think that's why over the years, as much as I love his first Batman movie, this one is starting to become a bigger favorite of mine. I think just because it is so different. It is so much like Tim Burton's style. I think Michael Keaton was fantastic in it as Bruce Wayne, or aka Batman. He did such a fantastic job in this film, and it's sad that he wouldn't go on to play the character in more movies, but for me, he is still the quintessential Batman. I still love him as the character. Also, Michelle Pfeiffer is fantastic as Catwoman. Initially, when I first watched this film, I had a hard time, the fact that I had such a crush on Kim Basinger playing Vicky Vale in the first film, that when I first watched this, and they do have that romantic connection between Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle, at first I didn't think it was very natural in this film. But the more I've watched it, the more I like it. You see that these two characters both have these troubled pasts, so they're like two kindred spirits and such. And then you see the dynamic between them change when she's Catwoman and he's Batman, and their interactions there. I really love that, and you see what a tortured soul Selina is. And Danny DeVito, I think, steals the movie as the Penguin. No one else could have played this role. And I remember when I was a kid, when the first Batman movie came out, them talking about that Danny DeVito was going to be cast as the Penguin, and I was just like, that's perfect, and I was so excited to see his interpretation of it. And the Penguin was never really one of my favorite characters, and I really like the dark route they went with him here. I love the opening shot of the film where he's born, that the parents sort of discard him into the sewers where he's raised by penguins. I just think it's such a tragic character. All three main characters in this film have such a tragic backstory, and I feel like the real mastermind or the real villain of this film is Christopher Walken. I love him as Max Schreck, and you just see how he's manipulating all three of the main characters. There's just some really dark subject matter in this film that was never tackled in any other Batman film in this franchise. I feel like the franchise got really light after this film because it was so dark. The one thing I always loved about Burton's films, the Batman films that Burton did, is that the sets were so gothic looking. The thing I loved about this one is that the entire town square where the first action set piece takes place at the beginning of the film, that was all like a real soundstage that they built to look like, a big city. And I thought that was just so great. Everything was like a real tangible set. And that was one thing I really just loved about this. With the Christmas setting, I love the overall look of Gotham City. As much as I love the Chris Nolan films, I never thought Gotham City was as interesting as it was in the first two Batman films. I really like the dark, moody, gothic look that Burton brought to this film. I just really love the feel of it, the look of it. I love all the performances in it. It's such a great holiday film, because like I said, it really has that Christmas feel to it, even though it's a superhero movie. It's one of my favorite superhero movies, and I really enjoyed seeing it when I was 18 years old when it came out, and I enjoy it just as much now, if not more. So yeah, just thought for Christmas I thought I'd talk about one last Christmas film. It's not a horror film, but it is a film that I like to watch during the holidays, and it's one that I haven't talked about on this channel. And I'm curious what other people think about Batman Returns, if you guys are fans of it, if you think this is where maybe those Burton films, it was too much like a Burton film, and it did eventually lead to Joel Schumacher coming in and sort of revamping the Batman franchise at the time. But I'm curious, what do you guys think? I mean, you guys fans of this film? Please leave your thoughts in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from everyone. And like I said, just wanted to say Merry Christmas to everyone. And thanks so much for continuing to support Boogeyman Ben's Horror Zone. I have some cool things that I want to do in 2018, and I hope everyone looks forward to that. I'll also be doing a Christmas haul video. I'll be probably doing that in a few days, including my end of the year video where I will talk about my top 10 horror movies. So I hope everyone looks forward to that. And thank everyone for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy. Stay scared. Peace.